I don't know. The description of fourth density, fourth density has a different mindset compared to a third density. Fourth density is more, we are all one. We are one consciousness. Fourth density, we have to go through it for at least 90,000 years in this density, according to what I found. And fourth density has a totally there. Money has no money, and gold is pretty useless in this higher density. The higher your density go, materialism just fades away. You become, your abilities are more enhanced. As the higher in density you go, the more responsible you go, the more it's more like a learning process in each density that you go on. You're always going to be learning the higher density you go. It's like a journey. In a strange way, it's almost like a spiritual journey to go up these higher densities, especially in a positive way. And one thing for me, in my perspective, is I don't see money and materialism that will raise our ascension, raise our evolvement. We have to evolve spiritually. We have to evolve spiritually within our own self, because we have to learn everything. Because basically, our reality is like, third density reality is like a school. It's supposed to be a school, but not like this, in my perspective. I don't think this is schooling. When you do the same monotonous thing all the time, you don't learn nothing when you do the same thing repeating all the time, because that's definitely being a slave. If you repeat your learning process over and over, then you're not learning nothing in this world. You're not understanding your own world. That's the one thing about this planet. This planet, you're supposed to be learning from the planet. The planet provides us, but we're supposed to give balance to the planet. That's how we learn in this world. For me, it's kind of weird. I always feel like I was always a higher density being myself. And I realize that, the higher density that you go to is money is completely useless. Gold is nothing but a shiny rock. Only thing gold can do is help your atmosphere. It's good to digest, for your digestion, put gold inside your body. That's how I look at rocks. To me, they're rocks, but they do hold energy within those rocks. Because rocks are almost like a living energy. Depending on, there are crystals out there that are living beings within those crystals. But it's like, the higher density, money is completely useless. And this world kind of like holds us back on everything that we do, that creates us, it makes us de-evolve. It doesn't make us evolve. It just keeps us as a slave in this world. In a higher density, you're not a slave. You have complete free will with responsibility. Yeah, free will with responsibility, because You have to create your own laws with your own self, you know, in a positive way. If you want to go towards a positive density, if you want to go towards a negative density, then the negative, that's your choice. If you want to keep everything negative, because in the negative density, there's a lot of torture, gore, blood, because you had to keep up the negative density up to 95%. So you have to have constant wars, constant fights, constant cannibalism too, because cannibalism kind of like raises the negative density up to a higher percentage. But once you become this one consciousness, it your mindset is completely different. You actually take care of in the positive density. Your mindset is completely different because you're actually taking care of your own kind, and you're not graded. And the education in a higher density, you're not graded, because you do everything voluntarily, with your own free will of how you want to be when you grow up. And the lifespan in a higher density, you live way longer than this density. You can live between about 5 to 800 years, maybe longer than that. In this density, third density, we live between 50 to 120 years old. Each density, the higher your density, the longer you live. It's a totally different time. In a higher density, the time is slower. The time is really slow on the higher density. It's strange. I don't know. I think I have experience being there before. And also, I'm here, which it doesn't even make any sense that if I already know, I have to take responsibility for everything that I say in this world. It's strange. Okay, have a nice day.